Because you joke around, oh, I'm poor, I don't have money. Okay, you are not poor. The person that is actually poor is not, it doesn't even have the strength to say I'm poor because the person is literally tired. In this life, hustle. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy, and today's conversation or today's topic is going to be poverty and healthcare. You know, many of us play around with the fact that, oh, I'm poor, but in the actual sense, you are not poor, because when you say someone is poor, it's that person that can't even provide like basic needs like food, water, clothing, housing, like roof over their heads, medications or medical care. When you cannot provide food, when you cannot get food to eat, when you can't get the proper housing, when you can't get medical care, at the end of the day, you eventually come down with something and you find yourself down with one illness or the other. You're malnourished because you don't have food, you're contacting disease here and there because you're living in an environment that is not healthy for you, and then after all these things, you find yourself in the hospital. Do you get? And then when you now come to the hospital, Kwano, for healthcare, the poor people are not even finding it funny. You know that you have to literally pay your bills because it's not for free. You come to the hospital, you don't have money, you have to pay your bills, but you cannot pay. In the hospital, most times, when you finish all the this thing they want to do for you, before you go home, you pay. If you cannot pay, you stay in the hospital. And the more you are staying, the more your bills are piling up. There was a time we even had I'll be giving examples as per what I've seen in the hospital. There was a time that we had a patient, and the mother brought her child to the hospital, and the child was down, lost consciousness. But if you see this child was looking malnourished. This child was actually looking malnourished. And if you read from the history of the child, you can see that they live in one room. About seven people living in one room, and then bushes are around their house. Like their environment is not conducive. At a point, they told the woman, "We are going to buy milk. Let us feed your child." The woman was complaining that she doesn't have money to buy milk. From there, you'll be like, why would this child be malnourished when they are telling someone to go and buy milk? And then she's complaining that the hospital is supposed to, the hospital is not supposed to tell her to go and buy milk. In the actual sense, it's true. The hospital is not supposed to tell her to go and be buying milk. If it's hospital if it's better hospital, because these are hospitals these days, how can you be telling the patient relative to go and buy milk? But on the other hand, the fact that she was complaining just shows you that these people are actually suffering. They're actually poor. They're actually the kind of people that in their house, if they bring one plate of food, everybody is struggling to eat that food. Everybody is struggling to finish from one plate. Do you get? So that kind of situation now, you could actually see why that child is malnourished. And then the kind of attention they even give these people, they are different. The two classes, the poverty people and the rich people, totally different. In this life, hustle. You come to the hospital, you're poor, and then, for example, and if you're the kind of person that is like that woman that is complaining that the hospital is meant to provide everything, all those nurses that did not have joy. Some nurses are empathic, they will understand, but some nurses that did not have joy, some wicked nurses, you've heard of nurses that don't have joy in this life. Some wicked nurses, they will tell you that you are kissed, that you're disturbing, they will even walk you out. But if you have the money and you are shouting, why don't the hospital have, how can the hospital be telling, they'll be begging you that, sir, please calm down. Sir, please calm down. It's not like that. Sir, this is the protocol. They'll be explaining to you. But if it's you that you don't have money, I am coming to shout. They will walk you out. There was even a time when we were in the department and we had a referral, right? I think I was on call that day. So we had a referral, and the referral came, and this person is in private suite, right? Private suite in the hospital. The private suite is for those people that have money, that will stay alone. Then the ward is for those ones that they will jam pack more than 20 people in one ward, you understand? But private suite, you have your own room and all that. So we got a referral that was from private suite, and this referral literally came by 2:04 because 4 o'clock is closing time. Normally, if it's someone that if it's ward referral, we'll just say after 4, when everybody has finished working and you're tired, you just leave and be like, tomorrow morning I'll come and assess this patient. But because you say it's from private suite, almost everybody, we just rush. My chief and I, we had to they're like, Nancy, go and assess this patient, go and see this patient, because we were still busy actually. So after the whole thing, I had to go. That was now around 4 after 4, I had to go to private suite to go and attend to that patient. And then we went there, and then there was no lights, and then we're not like, okay, we're about to do something, but we need the NEPA, we need the light. They're like, no, that they have gen, let them go and try the gen, so that we understand, we'll do what we're supposed to do. And then they went to go and on the gen for us, and then we do what we're supposed to do. If it's in the words, if it's in the words, there's no light. First of all, who out there? You have to come the next day. Nobody is giving you that special attention, and that is just like the honest truth. Even if nobody wants to agree, but that is the honest truth. You go to the ward and you want to do something, and there's no light, and they'll tell you there's no light. They don't even have gen. They don't even have generator to show you. Like, even the hospital itself, how can you give private suite gen and not give ward gen? You self as hospital, you are still discriminating. So when we as the health workers come, we cannot do anything, because you too started from the hospital, and this is even happening. This is happening in town. Talk more of people that are even in villages, people that are in those areas where they have to transport themselves down to the town where there are hospitals. People literally don't have money to transport themselves down to the hospital, right down to town. So they resort to going to churches or herbalists, which is another important point I even want to bring up, because that part is not even funny, right? Talking about going to churches and hospitals, I understand that people that are poor, it's hard to get money to transport themselves, right? It's literally hard. But please, when you are ill, when you are sick, please don't start going to church, or don't start going to babalawo, or don't start going to herbalists, or whatever they call them, to go and start treating this patient, because your condition can only be solved in the hospital, not church. We had a case in this hospital whereby the woman's son was sick, and the first place she went to was the church. This boy lost consciousness. This boy literally lost consciousness, and she took the boy to church, and the boy stayed in church for 3 days. You go safe as the pastor. You as the pastor, sure, you cannot even tell that your what they call them, that your church member, that she should go to the hospital. But you as the stupid pastor, you welcome the church member with open arms, kept that child in the church for 3 days. For 3 consecutive days, that child was still unconscious, right? Understand you are poor, you don't have money, but please, when we are making decisions, let's use our head, because this is life and death. You carry the child to church, and the child stayed there for 3 days, and the miracle you have been praying for, it did not happen. That child was still unconscious, and then after 3 days, your brain did not still reset. You now took your child to herbalists, and then when you have now gone through all these things for about 2 weeks, you now remember hospital. What do you want the doctors to do for this child? Because now, what kind of miracle are you expecting? Nobody is saying that you should not even go to church. Nobody is saying don't go to church, but please come to the hospital first. You can call your pastors to actually come and be praying for that person or that your relative. Please don't start going to churches or babalawo that will now mix rubbish and give you, and then you develop infection, and then when everything has gone worse, everything has gone bad, you now come to the hospital and be waiting for miracle. Nobody is saying don't have faith. I have faith. Many people have faith. You understand? But bring that your faith to the hospital. Bring your pastor to the hospital. Don't carry your child that is sick and is dying to the church. And those pastors, for crying out loud, our churches these days are becoming something else. So just because you want to collect money, just because there's gain in this thing, you now welcome that your church member wholeheartedly, and you are seeing that a child is dying, and you are still in your mind, you are praying, and most of them know that they cannot do anything about that thing. They can't do anything about it, but yet they still insist on actually keeping that child there in the name of they want to perform miracles, and that miracle is not going to happen. I can understand that TFE can be hard, and when you start thinking of hospital bills, because in all sincerity, it's also expensive in the hospitals. Even if some hospitals are deceiving you that there's some things that are free, it's not actually free. It's not free. You will pay, but come to the hospital first. Get that child treated, because the way the system works now is that they will attend to you, but they'll be packing your bills for you. You understand? When your child now gets well, or when your relative now gets well, or when your father or your mother now gets well, and it's time to go and they discharge you, they now present you the bill. If you cannot pay, you're not going anywhere. You will just stay in the hospital. But the thing is that person has recovered. That person is now well. Do you understand? So please don't start carrying this person to wherever you're carrying this person to. In as much as I said that there are some treatment that, for example, if it's an emergency, you come in, they don't start asking you for bills, for better hospitals, or they don't start asking you to pay this, pay this. They actually attend to you immediately before you pay your bills, like before they start asking you about money and all that. They start attending to you. But there are actually some things in the hospital that you actually need to pay for before you are attended to, or before you are treated. You understand? For example, if you have cancer now and you want to do chemo, you literally have to pay before you start doing chemo. Nobody will do chemo for you for free. And that is where someone who do not have the money can actually start deteriorating in health, and then because of money someone can just die like that. Do you understand? Because there are some places that the hospital can't just compromise, and that is where all these our big men and big women out there should just come and try to help, build foundations that will help these people. You understand? That will help provide this treatment, people that cannot pay for themselves. At least that way we can reduce some of these deaths and what terminal illnesses that are coming to us. If you have a comment, if you have anything to say, if you've had an experience before where they treated you like trash because you did not have money in the hospital, because let's be sincere, it happens, you'll be calling them to attend to you. There was basically a time we went to go and see a patient in the ward, and we went there, and this patient was actually very sick. But I think something happened and they needed a doctor. They've been calling this doctor since. The doctor doesn't want to come. They've been disturbing the nurses, and they were in the general ward. They've been disturbing the nurses since. The nurses does not want to come. You get? So we walked in to see this patient, and the kind of attitude this man gave us. God. The attitude he gave, that please we should leave him alone. The man just transfer aggression on us, and you don't even blame the man because he's tired. He's not getting the attention he needs. He's calling the nurses 247, and they're like, is the doctor? Nobody wants to care. They're calling this doctor. The doctor is not even coming. Doctor is not. But this cannot happen if you are in the private suites. This cannot happen if you are in the private suite. I'm telling you, it cannot happen because they've even been running around. Okay, ma. Okay, sir. What happened? This, that. To be honest. And it's actually very bad because the kind of attitude that man gave us, we had to leave because the man did not want to talk to us. So we had to leave. And I know many people have experienced this kind of thing before. So if you have, please tell me your experience in the comment section because I want to, know your experiences. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.